Good morning, friends. This is Reverend Margaret Pillar with Unity Myrtle Beach. It is Sunday, March 2nd, 2025. We're looking at the 12 powers that Charles Fillmore taught about this year, 2025. And this month, March, we'll be focusing on the power of wisdom. We hope wherever you are today that you feel your light, your wisdom, alive in you, to be and do all that is yours to be and do in this extraordinary moment in which we're living. Again, we hope wherever you are that you feel your extraordinary spiritual capacities.
Let it shine. Take away then. This little light of mine. Now I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. I live everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Shine all over the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it
Okay, we are ready.
No, we are ready.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, welcome everybody. I don't know if you folks look on Facebook, but we stream this service live. And sometimes there's 4 to 5 times the number of people who are watching this live stream or catch up on it later on. It's amazing.
Yes. Good.
I know that when I lived in Southern California, my wife insisted that we go to the Crystal Cathedral service with Robert Schuller. And we had to go early to the 7:30 service so we could get seats for the 9 o'clock service, which was televised, so that her grandmother could see her on TV on the off chance that the camera picked up on us. Well, and it did happen. Robert Schuller told a joke one time, and it just hit me, and I just couldn't believe. And that wide open mouth is what wound up on the. Would you guys like to hear the joke? Okay. So, okay. So this fella's up camping in the mountains of northern New Mexico with his family, and they're up on a beautiful mountain lake, and in the morning he decides he's going to take a climb up to the top of the local peak. And so he starts walking up, And as he goes moving along the trail, the fog starts rolling in. And before long, he can't see that far in front of him. And wouldn't you know it, he catches his foot on a rock, slips over the side, and he's grabbing on and finally grabs a hold of a little root, and he looks down and he can see the river way below. And he thinks, oh my God, how am I gonna get up? Is anybody up there? Yes, I'm here. Can you help me? Yes, let go of the root. Is anybody else up there?
Second opinion?
Yeah, see, that was the joke.
Oh my.
Now, I don't know who's watching out there right now, but Dawn right here, you know, when we do our peace song at the end, she's scanning the whole audience, all of us here. So if you don't want to be seen by some relatives up north,
Hide behind pole.
hide, yeah. Well, the bottom line is that we've created a family here, and I definitely feel like I found a home. And I'd like to, years ago, you know, we went to Crystal Cathedral, we went to spiritual conferences everywhere, and this one fella would end his talk with this little poem. I think it's a poem. And I have these, they're over there if anybody wants one, but I'm going to read it to you. All humankind are one vast family, this world our home. We sleep beneath one roof, the starry sky. We warm ourselves before one hearth, the blazing sun. Upon one floor of soil we stand and breathe one air and drink one water and walk the night beneath one luminescent moon. The children of one God we are, and brothers and sisters of one blood, and members of one worldwide family of God. Now, if that doesn't encompass the essence of unity, I don't know what does. Okay, let's hear a song from our music team right now.
All right.
Good works, good thoughts, good deeds.
Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. These are the things, these things we need. From the time you rise till the time you sleep, every step you take, every breath you receive, new needs. Everyone you pass on every street, every eye you meet, every friend you keep, new needs, new needs, new needs. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. 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 These are the things, these things you need. If you look back at the world from
Okay, so if you'll pull out your blue card that should be in front of you there, we're going to now say the prayer of Jesus, translated from Aramaic. Now let's say it together. Father, Mother, Birther, and Breath of all, create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire that flows through ours as energy fills all form. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment and untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Do not let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. From age to age, through view, flow the glorious harmonies of life. May these words be fertile statements through which our future grows. Amen, amen, and amen. Now, I don't know how many of you folks subscribe to this, but it's $10 a year. So, and it's a great way to start the day. And today, the thought from the Daily Word is positivity. Through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. I've heard it said, most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. These words show me the importance of positivity and how an upbeat attitude can keep me afloat on the rough waters of life. Positively helps me see the world as full of joy and possibility. Difficulties may arise, but my confident faith in the goodness of God gives me the power to cross the stormy seas, to find calm waters and the warmth of sunshine. The light of God surrounds, enfolds, and uplifts me. When I center my thoughts on the divine within, I feel equipped to meet all challenges. God's indwelling grace sees me through stormy days. Even if squalls of sadness toss me about, by faith, I will outlast the gales and reach calm seas again. And from Proverbs, keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. Again, the word is positively, and let's do this affirmation. Through positively, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. Through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. All right. And now, we're going to have another song from our fabulous music team, and then Reverend Margaret is going to speak on the power of wisdom.
Open
somebody say, I am opening up in sweet surrender. Surrender is not a bad word. Yielding to spirit is not a bad idea. Yielding to higher wisdom is a really great idea. That's the message. Let's go to potluck. Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all, Lent begins on Wednesday. That's when some of you will begin to think about what you want to give up during Lent as we go towards what? Easter. Wednesday is what they call Ash Wednesday, if you celebrate that. If you're going to New Orleans, I don't know.
Bring me back some beans.
The idea is we are now in the time of the resurrection energy, right? And so in Lent, we think about resurrecting our highest consciousness, resurrecting our wisdom, resurrecting the faith, the trust that we have within us, all that we need to step up to these extraordinary moments that we're living in. These little booklets are available. They're not for sale. They are free we ordered them and paid for them from Unity Worldwide Ministries. They're on the back table. Every day there's something for you to read as we are in the season of Lent. But the main idea is, just like spring is waking up all around us, right? I get so excited over the first daffodil. Right? And they're coming up all over the Grand Strand. And we have our, we're going to plan a trip over to Brook Green to see the daffodils. The excitement of life energy moving, right? Then August comes. And then we start wishing for winter again, don't we? We're always looking at what's next. So what I'd like to invite us all to do today is be here in this moment for the energy that we're in right now, in this place, in this moment. Spring is happening all around us. I mentioned it last week. Hildegard de Bingen, the 11th century mystic, she talked about the greening, the Holy Spirit greening, the new life returning. And I'd like to invite all of us to think about this for ourselves. I know, talking with some of you and for myself, just last week, I felt the heaviness. I felt a heaviness. And so whether you're feeling lighthearted energy right now, or whether you're feeling, that heaviness, something in between. Someone told me last week they can't get off the couch. Another person told me they can't stop moving. We're all experiencing the energies differently, aren't we? But the idea is that this resurrection is happening within us. Individually, it's happening within us as a species. This resurrection of consciousness, of the earth, of humans, just the miraculous event that happens when you plant a seed. It's in the dark. It's underground. And with the moisture and the warmth, something miraculous happens. Within the acorn is a whole giant oak tree. Do you not find this miraculous?
Yes.
There were wheat berries found in the pyramids that were planted and sprouted. Life energy being contained for thousands of years in a pyramid still had life energy. Same with the date. I don't know if you call them seeds or kernels. Date. What do you call the inside of a date? A pit? Anyway, that's what you plant. That's the seed. Date seeds in Masada, over in the Middle East, were found in earthen jars planted And they now have date palms that they haven't seen growing in that area for thousands of years. I feel awe about that. I feel awe to think about what has been planted within us. Whether you believe in a higher consciousness, I think if you're here in this room, you do. A higher intelligence, a creative consciousness, a life energy that moves within everything. This life energy living within us, that inspires awe within me. To think about what has been placed within us from the beginning of time, stretching back through infinity. That possibly, just for you to consider and for me to consider, that what has been placed within us is waking up in ways that perhaps we have not seen before, calling you and me to do and be in ways that we have not been before, waking up a consciousness within us that perhaps we have not been fully familiar with before. I feel like the energy of awe is going to help us deepen into this seed that has been planted within us. To be awe-filled about what is within you. Try that on. To be in awe about the capacities within you. Just try that on and see what it feels like. So I invite each one of us now to take a few deep breaths. Deep, healing, conscious breaths. I invite each one of us to breathe into awe. To see within us a consciousness of wisdom, a consciousness of creative mind, a consciousness of resurrection, life energy. To be in awe of this. I invite you to breathe into awe for the light within us. Awe for the wisdom within us. I invite you to breathe into the awe of the indwelling I am consciousness at the center of your being. This is the consciousness about which Jesus spoke. I and the Father are one. This consciousness known by many names. To be in awe of this I am at the center of your consciousness. One with the all that is. We breathe into the ancient peace that we carry in our hearts. We breathe into the wisdom, the intuition, the way of higher seeing. And we breathe into the stillness and the silence. that consciousness of silence and stillness. We remember those that we're holding in prayer right now in this moment, particularly neighbors in the communities that are on fire right now. Here in the Myrtle Beach area, we hold in consciousness the firefighters, those people who are evacuating people and pets. All those we're holding in our hearts who've written in for prayer, called in for prayer. For physical, for mental, emotional, for spiritual strength. Peace, peace, peace. So it is, and so we let it be. Namaste. What a stage crew we have. Oh, what a great way to come out of meditation with laughter, right?
Yes.
How many of you are finding something to laugh about and recognizing it as great medicine, right? Singing, laughing, being together, good potluck, finding reasons to come together. As the Hopis say, the time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves together. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. We must come together, and everything we do be done in sacred celebration. We do that pretty well here. So 2025, we are focusing on the 12 powers. January was faith, February was strength, and now we enter into March. I know some of you are still having trouble realizing that it's March, but it is, it's March. And we are going to be looking at the power of wisdom. So you and I are a part of this great unfolding of consciousness. If you're in a New Thought church, which you are this morning, if you're a part of Unity or spiritual centers for spiritual living, many other New Thought groups, you have caught hold of this idea that you and I are part of lifting consciousness, waking up the higher perspective, what we would call God perspective or spiritual intelligence. We are a part of a group that researchers have come to call the cultural creatives. So if you want to put that on your resume, the idea is with our thoughts, with our words, with our beliefs, with our feelings, we can shift consciousness and even events in the world that unfold in a higher, more conscious way. If you think that's Pollyanna thinking, I have another church that you can go to. Because in New Thought, you are invited to be responsible for what you're thinking.
Amen.
It's not my fault what's happening in the world. It's not my fault the unsettling events that are happening. It's not my fault. But can I do something about it? You see, we're part of the collective. So everywhere I look, if I'm not happy with it, I get to look at what have I added into this event that looks so hard. What have my thoughts and feelings and beliefs added to the chaos or what appear to be unkind events? What has my part been in that? And what is my part in lifting the consciousness where I am now, in the place where I am, with the time that I have? What is my part in lifting the consciousness? You see how that works? Mm-hmm. You can't exclude yourself from the collective. You cannot exclude yourself from the species. You're a part of the collective. And in New Thought, we are all invited to participate in the unfolding of wholeness for our species, for ourselves. If we're not participating in the unfolding of wholeness, we're participating in the unfolding of something else. Fear, unkindness. So what am I participating in the unfolding of today? Metaphysically, wisdom is intuition. It's intuitive knowing. Have you ever had an experience, I know you have, of saying right out loud, I just knew that that was going to happen, or I knew what I needed to do in that moment. It just came to me. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, it just came to me what my next step was. Out of the blue. And some might ask, where is the blue? Where is it coming from? Well, according to New Thought teaching, Charles Fillmore's, it comes from within. Everything is happening from within. Wisdom includes judgment, righteous judgment, right seeing is another way to say it, discrimination, discernment. There's a knowing capacity that you and I have that transcends, by the way, intellectual knowledge. How many of us love to read books? Right? We love to study, we love to find out stuff, right? Let's find out more stuff. Yeah. Right? We accumulate knowledge. We also accumulate beliefs. We accumulate stories of how we think something is. We all have our stories. I had a dream years ago where I walked into this beautiful room, and in the dream I knew it was my space, my place, and it was wall-to-wall books. I mean, how many of you love libraries? I love libraries. I love the smell of books. I love to feel books. Do I have Kindle? No. I love my books. I love to underline them. Yes, I'm the one that dog ears them, and the pages, the corners of the. I love to write little notes in the corners of books. I love going into antique bookstores and seeing the notes that somebody wrote in that book 100 years ago. I love that. Well, I walked into this room, wall-to-wall books, and as I'm walking through the room, I realized I know everything in every one of those books. Wow. That's a lofty feeling. I knew everything in every book. And then I walked out onto the balcony. And I looked down. And there were people looking up at me from their balconies. And I thought, wow, I know all the things that all those people know in their libraries. Wow, how did I get up here, looking down towards them? And then I looked up, and there were lots of balconies extending as far as I could see with people looking down towards me. So much knowledge. What we want to have with our knowledge is wisdom. How to use the knowledge. How to use the wisdom. And every one of us have within us this wisdom. We don't always trust it, however. So years ago, David and I were presenting at Unity of Palo Alto in California, which is Silicon Valley. And it was, at that time, Unity of Palo Alto was about 500 on a Sunday. And it was the days of people learning about telephone etiquette with their cell phones. And during the service, a woman just started talking on her cell phone. And everybody, you know, was turning and giving her the
Stink
look.
eye.
No, look. And she was not receiving the message. And so on either side of her, these fellows lifted her by her elbows and took her out of the sanctuary while she's still talking on her phone. I don't know if y'all can hear this. We can hear it. It's crackling. Okay. Palo Alto, wonderful church. So there was a woman in our workshop. Oh yeah, that's the workshop where
Not going there, huh?
During the afternoon workshop, we were doing a healing ceremony. People were working in triads, 3 people to a group. They were doing healing work with one another. And David went to the bathroom and forgot to turn his mic off. And there was this waterfall effect happening during the healing ceremony. And when he came back in, everybody So there was a woman there. She worked at Stanford. She was a professor there. She asked us to come to her home and do some healing work with her. She had been diagnosed with cancer of the stomach. And so we went to her home. We began to do healing work with her. And then out of the blue, David asked her a question. He said, "What is eating at you?" Sometimes it's about just asking the right question. I could have throttled him. I thought, this poor woman, she's asked us to come do healing, and you're just right in the middle, you're just asking this question? Well, without hesitating a second, she told us what was eating at her. Sometimes if you ask your consciousness the right question, you receive downloads, information that help you to take your next steps. Well, her story, one of those stories, she told us that her daughter had pulled up to a stoplight in LA, and a man had come up and shot her, and she was killed. And the young man who was out of his mind on drugs at the time, he went to prison ultimately and was on death row. And so this woman told us what was eating at her. This was all she could think of at this point in her life. And so after we did the healing work, we talked for a while with her, and then we left. And then we began to correspond with her through the next several months. And she said after the healing work, she had a dream. A few days later, she had a dream. And she saw her daughter sitting in the jail cell with her killer. Her daughter was sitting cross-legged in a kind of a yoga pose. And in the dream, she looks at her mother right into her eyes, and she said, "I have forgiven him. Can you do the same?"
Wow.
Now, this is one of those stories where this woman's wisdom was intact. David asked her the right question, but then she made a decision to deepen into the awareness of what is hers to do and be in this moment. And her daughter in this dream told her what to do, to forgive the murderer. So this woman did something extraordinary. We communicated over the next 6 or so months. She contacted the mother of this young man, and first she got to know the mother, because both mothers had lost their children, essentially. And she began a friendship with this mother. And then came the day when she decided to write a letter to the young man, and then the day came when she went to prison to visit him, and then the day came when she forgave him. Now, David and I cannot prove to you that what she did and her decision to forgive this young man, we cannot prove to you that it had anything to do with her remission. But in fact, several months later, there was no stomach cancer found. Now, her wisdom alerted her to something that must be done. By the way, whether she went into remission or not, whether the stomach cancer went into remission or not, the forgiveness needed to happen for this woman's life to continue. I applaud each one of us when we are called to do the hardest thing and we choose to do it. When we're called to be the person to say the word that needs to be said, or do the thing that needs to be done, because it creates healing energy for us individually. It also creates healing energy for those around us and those with whom we're connected. We never heal alone. We never transform energy alone. I don't know what would have happened if David had not asked that question. Maybe the remission would have happened anyway. I don't know what would have happened if she had chosen not to forgive this young man. She had a right to be angry, right?
Yes.
But this is what occurred. This is the kind of wisdom that we have within us. Khalil Gibran said this. It's so beautiful. He said, all things in this creation exist within you. And all things in you exist in creation. There is no border between you and the closest things, and there is no distance between you and the farthest things. And all things, from the lowest to the loftiest, from the smallest to the greatest, are within you. In one atom are found the elements of the earth. In one motion of the mind are found the motions of the laws of existence. In one drop of water are found the secrets of all the endless oceans. In one aspect of you are found all the aspects of existence. He was talking about oneness. And as much as we talk about oneness around here, many of us forget to be in oneness with our spiritual capacities. I am one with my wisdom. I am one with creative mind. I am one with faith. I am one with love. I am one with joy. I am one with hope. I am one with trust. I am one with peace. You see how that works? Do I feel it all the time? Last week was a week of many emotions for me. We had a great annual meeting, but I left it feeling many emotions. Wishing I'd done something, said something, recognized someone, so many things. You know how we do that? And then things happening in the world. I was riding this wave, right, of emotions. Am I the only one who's been? No. I reference him many times, Jose Arguelles in the Mayan Factor, and also in his book, Surfers of Savuye. This is what we human beings do. We ride the waves of collective energy. We can't help it because we're all one. So the work becomes to recognize when we are riding the waves of emotion and to go into the core of our being where we can feel equanimity and peace and balance. And in fact, sanity. So this collective consciousness, sometimes we will be feeling the intensity of collective consciousness, but we think it all belongs to one little individual me. And that's when things feel really hard. So I learned a question many years ago from a spiritual teacher. I've shared it with you many times. I'm going to share it again because the phone calls and emails I'm getting, I think we need to review it. I do. When I'm feeling the intensity, maybe it feels like depression, sadness, hopelessness. Maybe it feels like anger, confusion. Remember, I have to remember to ask, does all of this belong to me? Or does any of it belong to anybody else? I tell you now, 100% of the time, some of it's mine, of course. I'm resonating with it. About 97, 98% of it belongs to collective. So what is mine to do? Here's what I have determined in that moment. Mine is to hold in prayer, do my healing work, do my consciousness work for anyone else who's feeling the same kind of intensity or hopelessness or anger or unsettledness. Anyone else who's feeling that, I hold in prayer for all of us. I add into the collective thoughts of peace, feelings of hope, thoughts of faith, feelings of faith. And then I have to what? Let it go. In that moment, I'm released from the intensity, left to do what is mine to do with what is mine, to work on what I'm feeling angry about or unsettled about or uneasy about, and to recognize that my species is also feeling the intensity, so to do my prayer and healing work in the collective. You see how that works? We're not alone in what we're feeling, and we're not alone in the healing. You think you're feeling confused? Think about your species. You think you're seeing unkind stuff going on and you don't know what to do about it? It's happening for the species. Does all of this belong to me? Does any of it belong to anybody else? I called that spiritual teacher at one point, Hilda Charlton, and I've been doing my work. I was very proud of myself for doing my inner work, and I said, you know, right now I'm not feeling any huge highs about anything, but I'm also not feeling any deep, intense, lows. I'm just kind of going along on an even keel. And I said it to her like, something was off. And she said, darling, we used to call that bliss. This place of balance, this place of ease, this place of, we're not trying to create certain outcomes. We release our preferences. We're in trust. We're in a place of what our friend Ed Kozak calls equanimity. Just peace. But sometimes we see that as a problem, so we'll create a drama. We tune into our drama station. So right now, some of us are in a pause. Some of us are feeling a lot of activity. Some of us are feeling like we don't know exactly what to do. We're all going to know what to be and what to do as the moments present themselves to us. So, for those of you who've heard this story, just take a little nap. We'll be back with you in a minute. For some of you, this will be new. One of my great teachers was a woman named Ida Mae Hill in Jacksonville, Florida, who worked in our home, Pam and me, growing up. She chased us out of the house when she was mopping the floor. She made sure that we were fed and safe and that all was well in our home until our parents got home from work. She did a lot to help our family. Well, I went home, on occasion would go home with her on the bus, and my mom would pick me up at Ida Mae's home. And it was about 1954, 55, so I was 6 or 7, and we were going home on the bus. It was the days of sit-ins and civil rights movement. And as we were getting on the bus driver looked at me. You know, kids can feel hatred. Kids can feel unkindness. And that bus driver looked at me and he glared at me and he said, "Little lady, you can sit on the front of the bus." I looked up at Ida Mae, into her eyes. I trusted her. And she said these words to me. She said, "Child, sit where love is." Now that is the greatest wisdom, isn't it? She didn't tell me, "You sit up front because you can." She said, "You sit where love is." She left it up to me to make the decision. And don't you know, I went to the back of the bus. There's no way in hell I wanted to sit up close to that bus driver who had so much hate in his eyes that I felt it viscerally in my body. Children know, and the childlikeness in us, we know when something's wrong. We know when something's not right. We know when something's being done that creates so much unkindness. We know when something's wrong. And we also know when we have to speak up. Ida Mae took a big chance that day. I'm so grateful to her for giving me a formula. Sit where love is. And right now, I'm having to remember that a lot. In my thoughts and in my feelings, I better sit where love is. Right now, I feel like our species is in the goo. It's a scientific term. Sort of like we have a psychological term we use around our house. When someone's acting goofy, we say, "Well, clearly their cheese has slid off their toes." Well, the goo, y'all know about the goo? The wisdom within the caterpillar. Y'all know about the goo. The caterpillar knows at some point that it has to eat a whole lot because something's getting ready to go down. That caterpillar becomes very ravenous. And there's a wisdom in that caterpillar that tells it what to do, right? Creates a chrysalis, goes within. Well, you know, that caterpillar does not remain a caterpillar and then just suddenly emerge as a butterfly. It spends some time in the goo. Ugh, just gooey gooey. How many of us have spent time in the goo? And at some point, there's some cells that kick in. The researchers have named them the imaginal cells. You know, cells that are not particularly identified as being for one thing or another. They're available to be used for what's needed. The imaginal cells. And at first, the caterpillar's body goes, "Oh no!" You know, new cells. And they're eating away at the caterpillar. It looks like a problem. But then the imaginal cells kick in and work in collaboration with the consciousness of all that is. And the caterpillar becomes what? Are y'all in awe? So y'all know where I'm headed. It's not hard to figure out. It feels like we're in the goo. And there's a wisdom within us that's available to us, ready to kick in because some of us feel that you and I in our species, those of us who are opening to a higher or more expansive consciousness, that it could be we're a part of that group called the imaginal cell consciousness. We know we're in the goo. We know we have inner wisdom. We know we can be a part of unfolding wholeness in the world. We know we can be a part of creating healing consciousness in the world. But at some point, that caterpillar had to surrender to what was happening. Had to surrender to this just feels gooey, gooey, gooey. But I'm going to yield to it. I'm going to surrender to this because I can feel in my wisdom something else is wanting to emerge. That's where I'm feeling we are right now. I have so much more to say, but I'm going to end. I'll save this for next time I speak on March 9th. But here's the deal. Wisdom, Charles Fillmore placed wisdom at the solar plexus chakra. Where is the solar plexus? Some call it the second brain. It's the place we refer to when we say, I just have a feeling in the pit of my stomach. I got a gut feeling on this, right? That's what we're talking about, the chakra where this energy moves around to give us that intuition, that discernment. We're going to talk more about it all month, really. But let's take a deep breath right now and listen to what some of these folks had to say about this wisdom that's within you. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, there's a power above and behind us, and we are the channel of its communication. Socrates said, I have had this from my childhood. It's a sort of voice that comes to me. George Eliot, she said, there is another self. My own personality is but a mere instrument through which this spirit is working. Rudyard Kipling, I have learned that when your inner helper is in charge, do not try to think consciously. Flow with it, wait, and then act. Mozart, whence and how my ideas come, I do not know, nor can I force them. They take place as if in a pleasingly lively dream. I pray to God, and the composition begins. And lastly, King Carey, who I love, who wrote The Third Millennium, he said, there's something huge looking through our eyes. I feel that's so true. There's something huge looking through our eyes, collaborating and working with us in this extraordinary moment. Turn to someone close, please, and say, there's something huge looking through your eyes. Oh, thank you for letting me speak to you today. Are we all waking up together? Today I remember to sit where love is, in my consciousness, in my mind, in my heart. Sit where love is. Okay, curtain down, intermission, curtain back up. Now our next part. We want to thank all of you for all the ways you support this wonderful idea called unity. Last week we had a wonderful annual meeting with a little bit of excitement, energy. We did vote, the voting members did vote to move forward with the permitting process for the building of our new sanctuary. We are taking a little pause just as we move into writing that $14,000 check. We're going to take a little pause, do some ceremony around it, know that all is working in divine order. So this is the part where we get to support with our folded money, Venmo, PayPal, checks. I still write a check. The 1st and the 15th, you pay me. That's a wonderful thing. And I get to write my tithe check because I was raised with the idea of sharing my plenty, sharing my bounty with organizations that I feel are making a difference in the world. Let me tell you one of the ways we're making a difference in the world, shall I? Because it's just one little way. That's the big way. 2 years ago, or maybe it's 3 now. 3. That's my Girl Scout. Okay, 3. Daryl and Alexander proposed that we continue with an idea that we all were, many of us had, but she was the one that really moved it forward with raised beds, became Burgess Community Garden. I'm pointing to the front field. If you haven't ever been out there, it's a sight to behold. It began with one little demonstration raised bed out here in the front yard, and it's now become how many? 26 raised beds out there at Burgess Community Garden. I went out there on Thursday to talk with the volunteers. Leo, one of the vets. Leo, raise your hand. David wants to know who you are. Okay, that's Leo, honey. Okay, Leo, one of the VA vets who come out here to volunteer in the gardens. The produce that they're raising is being distributed to different groups like the Boys and Girls Club, Burgess Senior Center, Helping Hands, Help for Kids, and also the VA, who is distributing the produce. I hear eventually it gets to the Veterans Cafe, where homeless vets or previously homeless vets are working and being hired at the cafe.
Nice.
That's just one small thing. And Darylyn, who has been spearheading the outreach for this Unity Church for many years, didn't know nothing about growing vegetables, right? I mean, she has learned what to do in growing veg, and all the people who've been a part of the garden. Some of you aren't here today, but would you please stand? Just stand. Leo and Darylyn, yes, Irene and Preston, me, I get out there, Tammy, Denise and Peaches, they're not here today. Lots of people volunteering out there. If you want to know what to do about your doldrums or depression, get out there and dig in the dirt. Or volunteer on Tuesdays with the green team. Get some dirt under your nails. It's been proven. All those wonderful microbes help lift the energies. Get out here and dig with the daylily garden. See Jesus in the back. Jesus, raise your. They're going to be working on the daylilies. Y'all, there's so much going on here. Those are just little things. So we support the organizations that we feel good about. And today I support this organization because golly, 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 I feel good about it. So we're going to have another song, and then we'll get back for the part you really love, the announcements. Okay, here we go.
Now people get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith, hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. So people get ready for the train to go.
that can be done with your tithes, your gifts, your donations, your volunteer hours, all the ways we're building this Unity Spiritual Center. We give thanks to the givers, and thanks for the wisdom to know how to use the green energy for the best and the highest. Thank you. Namaste. I don't know if y'all could see it, but Colleen was back here with the offering plate dancing to the music, and then she was trying to get Jay to dance.
He wasn't doing it. There's a little.
Okay, all right, thanks guys. So, announcements. We want to welcome everybody who is here today, and we also want to welcome all of you here for the first time. If you would like to stand and give your name and where you're visiting from, please do. That's you, David.
That's you, David. Go hit your head. Hi, I'm Dave Hamilton. I'm Joanna's son.
Now wait, where are you visiting from?
The Hudson Valley.
Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
And you have the organic farm, and you're doing, so you need to go out and bless our gardens. Put some of that happy dust, happy farm dust on. Yes. God bless all the farmers.
Yes.
God bless all the people working with the earth and growing good, healthy food. Speaking of good, healthy food, oh wait a minute, are there any other visitors? Please stand and tell us your name and where you're visiting from. I know you've been here before.
Sure. I'm Tara White, and moved here about 5 years ago from Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach, okay.
A few times a year.
Okay, now Tara has put some flyers on that back table back there about a friend of hers who speaks sometimes in Unity and non-denominational churches, and he's speaking on the work of Edgar Casey. And this is happening Wednesday and Thursday of this coming week. So I don't know him, but Tara can answer your questions, and those flyers are back there on the back table. Also, you're not going to want to miss, this is your March month at a glance. Looks like this, front and back. It's on the back on this information table. It tells you everything you need to know about everything you ever wondered. In March. Coming up in March. So, one of those things is next Saturday, March 8th, is the drum circle around the fire pit behind the barn. It sounds like a scavenger hunt. No, the drum circle behind the barn around the fire pit. And they are gathering here next Saturday at 5:30.
6 o'clock.
Oh, at 6 o'clock is when they're gathering. And there will be extra drums if you don't have one, but bring your drum if you do, and your lawn chair to sit around the fire. If you have any questions, see Colleen or Ken Lennon. Next Sunday, March 9th, your speaker will be John Wilder. Also next Sunday is Time Change Sunday.
Oh.
We want to emotionally prepare for this. This is the one where we what? Spring forward 1 hour, which means what? I mean, some of you will be walking in here
Beat Bobby, be late.
at what you think is 11 o'clock.
We'll be here early.
Yeah. And you'll be confused.
In time for the
But
music.
now that we have cell phones, it's not like the old days when so many people walked in confused. So just make sure you always know what time it is. Okay, so that's next Sunday, March 9th. Saturday, March 22nd, the Vision Board Mini Retreat. Those of you who like to do vision boards, the flyers are back there, the sign-up sheet is back there. Sunday, March 23rd, David Hiller will be your speaker, and in the afternoon, he'll be doing a healing workshop and doing Psych K. So if you have questions, there's flyers back there, sign-up sheet back there, and David Hiller right here. He can answer your questions. Your prayer box is over here on this table for your prayer request. We've got our Wednesday book group. This coming Wednesday evening, Reverend Marilyn Maddox starts her Zoom class on the book, The Power of Be. And Thursday afternoon is A Course in Miracles. Thursdays, for 3 more Thursdays, we are doing the affirmative prayer class. I'm your facilitator for that. I'm running out of breath. And coming up, and there's flyers, they look like this. Saturday, April 26th, we're having a barn sale, plant sale, and bake sale. We love our barn sales and plant sales. So that's happening Saturday, April 26th. They're asking for volunteers. Save your stuff. How many of you have stuff? Extra stuff. Stuff you never use. We want good, clean, good condition and clean stuff. So is that it? Oh, Dee, please come up. So that's Saturday, April 26th. And, oh no, okay. Okay, so any other announcements? Yes, Jesus.
Birthdays.
March birthday.
Thank you, Jesus. Who all has a birthday in March? See, the birthdays just keep coming. They just keep coming. So birthday, what is March? What is that? Pisces. Pisces? Happy birthday, all the March people. Jesus, did you want to sing? We're good? Okay. Dee, come on up.
Good morning.
Monday.
Those of you that were here last week, of course, for our annual meeting, heard Cassandra talk about forming a new subcommittee. And it's for the interior design for our new building. So I have 2 people who have volunteered, Jane Sherwood and Gina Davis. Oh, she's gone. Yeah, there you are. And I'm thinking we might need at least 1 more, possibly 2 more people. Now, this is not a committee that's going to start right away, since we're not going to have our building break ground on it for at least a year, so we've got plenty of time. But I would like for you to let me know, please, if you'd like to volunteer, and give me all of your information and contact information, and I will coordinate the committee, okay?
Yay.
Thank you very much.
Super.
Okay, y'all. We are ready for our prayer of unity. It's on your blue prayer cards that are around your chairs. Inspired by James Dillett Freeman. Altogether, the light of God surrounds us. The presence of love enfolds us. The power of peace protects us. And the one presence that lives within all creation enlivens us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. Let's stand for our peace song. Everybody go to the barn for potluck. Everybody's welcome. And please put on a name tag today. They're circulating around. So you remember what your name is. Okay.